Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I really wanted to do a tutorial on how to get the perfect and flawless base and what products to use, how to use them, and my tips and tricks the way I like to do it. So after a lot of queries, I keep getting a lot of questions on how to keep, how to actually make the concealer stay on for long and without having it to crease. Also, how to put on the foundation without making it look cakey. So without further ado, I am just going to jump right in and I'm going to discuss all the questions that I keep getting, and I will try to answer the maximum possible things and also discuss all the tips and tricks that I have accumulated throughout my experience, with all my experience. So let's jump right in, and if you would like to know how I like to do and how I like to get that perfect base, please keep on watching. So I have just washed my face and I have put on my favorite moisturizer. I really like to use the Clinique Moisture Search. So now that it's winters, I like to double moisturize my skin because I have a drier skin. So I also like to moisturize it with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is one of the best primers, moisturizing primers. This is very hydrating. I really like to use this throughout the winters because it really makes my skin very supple, and it also, while moisturizing your skin, it also creates a barrier between your makeup and your skin. So I just like to take a small amount of this, just a small pea size, and I like to just warm it up between my palms, and I like to just press it into the skin. So basically pressing it into the skin makes it easier for the skin to absorb, and that is why I just like to press moisturizer or the primer into the skin. Now, having just moisturized, since I again am a drier skin type, I like to put on face oils a lot. Also, I want to just mention that very importantly, because a lot of people with oily skin types think that their skin is already moisturized and it is already hydrated, and I really want to clarify this point that a lot of people confuse between moisturizing and oiliness. So the natural skin, the oil that the natural skin produces, is not what actually moisturizes or hydrates your skin. You definitely need a good moisturizer that is that is suitable for an oily skin type. So once you have the perfect moisturizer, that is when you can actually say that your skin is hydrated. You will actually feel the difference between the oiliness and the hydration that your skin needs. You have to hydrate even an oily skin. Once you're done with that, as far as the face oils are concerned, even oily skin, there are a lot of face oils available for oily skin types as well. So just search out, just find the best product that suits your skin, and that is what you should actually use. Go check out on Sephora, check it out on Nykaa. There are a lot of products available these days in the market. So I really like to use this Kiehl's Daily Reviving Concentrate. It is one of the best face oils that I've used, and I like to use it every single day. Since the T-zone is the area of the face that mostly gets oily, I do not like to put this oil onto the T-zone. Mostly in the nose, I really do not put it on. So I will just take a few drops of it, just one drop here, and just massage it into the face. Just a tiny bit onto the forehead, and my mouth area really tends to get dry, so I kind of like to use it here as well. So now I will just massage it here. Once that's done, I make sure before I start my makeup, I moisturize my lips as well. And I love this Burt's Bees Mango Moisturizing Lip Balm. And it is one of the Burt's Bees has one of the best lip balms that I've ever used. So I swear by it. And you can easily get it in Sephora. And I make sure that I keep my lips very moisturized throughout the day. I keep reapplying a lip balm, and in winters specifically, you should always have a lip balm with you wherever you go. Once we are done and our skin is well moisturized, I like to prime it, and I swear by the Benefit POREfessional primer. It instantly reduces the appearance of pores. So what I like to do is I like to take a small pea size. I don't know, my camera is actually acting a little weird. So what I like to do is I like to take a small pea size, rub it between my fingers so that, just to warm it up. And once that's done, I like to press it onto the areas where I tend to have maximum pores. So onto the nose, onto the apples of the cheeks, on the forehead, the chin. And once you apply it, you will immediately see that it has reduced the appearance of pores. Always make sure that you press the primer in instead of rubbing it or massaging it, because that is what helps to actually fill in the pores. So this primer is basically a silicone based primer, and it really helps to fill in the pores and make them appear very less. So now that we have our face primed and completely moisturized, the perfect canvas for makeup is absolutely ready. So moving ahead, I really struggle with dark circles, and Indian skin tones, tend to get dark around the mouth area or under the eyes, and they keep getting a lot of pigmentation as well. So to get rid of all the pigmentation and the darkness on the face, I completely love to color correct. So this Estee Lauder Orange Corrector is the one that I use. So this corrector is a little pricey, and in case you do not want to spend so much, you can also get the LA Girl Pro Conceal Orange Corrector. It is an amazing product. It really blends in very well. So this and a little fairer skin tones can always go by the Peach Corrector, again by LA Girl. So these are the color correctors that I like to use. So today I'm going to use the Estee Lauder color corrector. The best part about this is that it has an area, it is a double-sided one, which basically, you can customize, custom correct it. So it basically has a lighter version to be used on areas where you think, you've got little darkness. So that you can use here, and you also have the total or full coverage here. So this is the best part about it, and I mostly like to color correct the full coverage one under my eyes. So I will just start, and you can just see how I like to do it. Just tiny bits do the trick. So you just have to apply it. So I love to blend it with a damp beauty blender. So this, always make sure that you dampen your beauty blender, because if you use a dry beauty blender, it really tends to absorb a lot of the product and you hardly have anything. So that is why you should always dampen the beauty blender, and with the pointed side I would just press in the product. So taking a tiny bit of whatever is left on the beauty blender, I will take it onto the upper eyelid as well. I do not like to make it all full coverage because we will obviously be adding a tiny bit of the concealer, which will again have some coverage. So always make sure whenever you color correct, it has to be the spot color correcting. Otherwise it will just make the complete face look orange. And if any of you have tiny bits of redness, I will also show you how to get rid of the redness, because my skin has lately been acting a little weird and I've been breaking out. So people who have redness on their face, because I also have been getting tiny bits of breakouts, so to cover those you should always use a green color corrector, and this is again by Estee Lauder. And again, this has a light coverage and a full coverage. Depending on the kind of redness that you have on your face, you can correct it with this. So since I have just tiny bits of redness, I am going to use the light coverage, and I will just spot correct it. Use just a dot of these and again blend it with my damp beauty blender. Can you see the difference? Since the redness was really small, I don't know if you can see it. Always make sure that you do not rub the product. You always have to pat with the beauty blender. You do not have to just rub it. So that is again a very important thing. Now that we have our skin color corrected, I will also like to color correct around my mouth, because my skin tends to get a little dark around this area, and here I would like to use the light coverage. A person who wants that full coverage, so I just want tiny bit, more coverage with my dark circles. So I have again, this one is the light coverage one. So again, I'm just going to blend this. There are a lot of makeup sponges available these days, but I honestly swear by the original beauty blender, and this is the original beauty blender. This is the black Pro beauty blender basically, and a lot of people also ask me how should we dampen the beauty blender. What you just have to do is keep it under a flowing a running tap, and you can just it'll just suck in a lot of water, and once it is all wet, all you just have to do is squeeze out all the excess, and it will just be a little dampened, so it doesn't really have any excess water. Otherwise it will just ruin all your makeup. You just have to make sure that it is dampened and not all wet. Now that our face is all color corrected, I am now going to move on to the foundation. Today I'm just going to use the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Baklava, and I just love to mix my foundations. So I am going to mix the two. I am going to use DiorSkin Nude Foundation. I completely love this product. Whenever you want tiny bit of coverage for your daytime and stuff, I swear by this foundation individually. I do not mix it with anything. So DiorSkin Nude Foundation in the shade 030. I'm going to mix the two. I just like to take $1 of each, one pump from both the foundations onto the back of my hand. Again, I'm going to use the butt of my beauty blender, and I'm just going to mix these two and apply it. You can see I am just bouncing my blender onto the skin and not rubbing it. With whatever product is left onto the blender, my foundation is over. And with whatever is left, I am just going to bring it down my neck. Now that we have our foundation on, I am now going to conceal my under eye dark circles. And here I am again using DiorSkin Forever Undercover, and I'm in the shade 040. So what I like to do is I just like to tap, make tiny dots. So all the areas that I've just color corrected, I like to put this one there. I like to put it on like this. Now again with the damp beauty blender, I'm going to just pat it into the skin. You can see already that our dark circles are all concealed. Now what I like to do is I like to use a lighter concealer to just highlight the under eye area, the forehead and the bridge of my nose. And for this I completely love this concealer. This is from the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Concealer. This is a very thin concealer, and this is in the shade Natural number 8. So what I like to do is I like to make a V. So you can see this is like really light for my skin tone, but once we have it blended, it'll be all fine. I'm sure you guys must be feeling that I'm using such a light color. So I like to put it on the bridge of my nose. So whatever areas I really want them to be highlighted, I like to put it there. Now that we have this concealer on, I'm again going to take my damp beauty blender. I love the sound that it makes. I know it's a little gross, but yeah, that's who I am. Make sure all the lines are absolutely well blended. Whatever is left on the blender, I like to move it around the eye. Can you already see the difference that it has made to the face? It has already brightened the under eye. The forehead, the center of the forehead is a little bright, the bridge of the nose and around the mouth. So that is what I like to do. Now moving on, what I like to do is I love to contour my face, and I just like to use a cream contour. So today I am using the Nykaa foundation stick in the shade 07. I think this is the darkest shade that they have, so I like to use that for the contour. So how do you actually contour your face? I am just going to show it to you. Just you have to draw an imaginary line from the top of your ear towards your mouth. So what you have to do is just like this. you have to make a line. In case you are not able to do this, what you can do is, this will automatically create a line. It will just make the hollow areas appear, and it will be really easy for you to draw this line. So I basically like to draw the line till the end of my eyebrow. So that is what I've done here as well, only till the end of the eyebrow. Now also on the jawline, what you can do is, see, I've got that double chin. So what I basically like to do is, I like to put it here where I think that I want my jaw to actually appear. Now since I already have a very sharp nose and I hardly have any spaces where I can contour my nose, but for you guys who really need that nose contouring, I'll just still try to do it. How you have to do it is, you have to just create two lines on the bridge of your nose. I hardly have any thickness of the bridge. So what you have to do is that you have to create two lines on the bridge of your nose, and the closer the lines, the more snatched the nose would look, and the farther to the lines, the more, you know, thicker and fatter your nose would look. So I'm just going to draw two lines here. Since I've got a longer nose, I really like to, you know, kind of cut it here. And you can also, I've got a bigger forehead, so I am just going to draw lines like these. To make the forehead appear smaller. Once I'm done with this and I know where my contour has to be placed, I am again going to take my damp beauty blender, and I am now going to buff this out with again the butt of the blender. You can already see that it makes it appear a little chiseled. Now I'm blending it around my nose. The purpose of contouring is basically that you tend to create shadows, and with the shadows your face appears, you know, it just appears a little more chiseled, snatched. And what you're basically supposed to do is, as far as the cheek contour is concerned, you want the apples of your cheeks a little higher, and you want the jaw to be kind of sunken, you want chiseled. So always make sure that while you're blending it, you blend it upwards and not downwards, otherwise it'll make your cheeks it'll make your jawline appear a little more broad. So always make sure that you blend them upwards, since you want the apples of your cheeks to appear fuller. And that is why you always bounce the beauty blender and not rub it, otherwise it will just move, the product, and that is not what we are going for. Then that is the only reason that you actually placed your contour well in advance, so you know where you actually have to place it. And now that we look absolutely snatched, we need to set all the cream products. And to set the creams, to set my under eyes and to set my face, I like to use the Lauder Mercier loose setting powder in the shade Translucent. So this basically goes with all skin tones. So I will just, now using the damp beauty sponge, A lot of people also ask me that why should we use the beauty sponge, the beauty blender, even dampened for the powder. I completely love doing that. It just makes the powder melt into the skin, and you can actually see how. Okay, I already have the powder. So what I like to do is, using the same side, I will just, so now I have the powder on my dampened beauty blender, and using this, I will just press it into the skin. You can see the difference already. It has just melted into the skin. Moving on to the other eye, I am just going to press the powder into the skin. Now that we have our under eye set, I am just going to set my forehead, where I tend to crease a little bit. Now that we have our under eye set, I am going to take a fluffy powder brush like this one. So this is the Pro 330. I'm going to take the Lauder Mercier onto this brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to lightly dust it all over my face. Nothing too crazy. I'm just going to dust it. Now that our base is set with powders, I am now going to move ahead and apply my bronzers, blush and everything. So moving ahead, now that we have our base set, I am now going to set my contour with a powder. So I'm going to use this contour palette by NYX. So this is the Highlight and Contour Pro palette by NYX, and I really like the texture and the colors that they have. I'm going to use the Morphe 405. This is basically an angular contour brush, and I am lightly going to mix the first two contour shades. Again, tapping off the excess. You always want to make sure that you always tap off the excess while using a powder. So again, on the same areas that I have used my contour, I am now going to apply this. You really want to buff this out completely so that it looks very natural. So wherever we applied the cream contour stick, we are just going to apply the powders. These baby hair, they really trouble a lot while contouring. Also, onto the jawline. A lot of people also, tend to use the same contour brush for the nose, but I do not like to do that. I like to use a smaller blending brush like this one, Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush set. This is JH30. So I'm going to take the same two contour shades, and tapping off the excess, I'm lightly going to dust it onto the bridge of the nose. And I also like to take the contour shade into the brow so that it looks all put together. Again, the same shade and already our nose looks a lot chiseled. Now that we have set our contour, we are going to move on to the blush, and today I'm using the NARS Orgasm blush. I literally love this. I'm going to use the Pro 250 by Revolution Pro, and tapping off the excess. It just gives you a tiny bit of sheen. It has a golden shimmer which is finely milled, and it just gives you that tiny bit of glow which actually looks like a glow from within. Well, I like to go overboard with the blush because blush is the product that oxidizes first. So that is the reason that I really like to go overboard with it. So now that we have the perfect flush of color onto our cheeks, we are now going to bake our face. And that is one of the best and one of my favorite steps to do. Using this dampened beauty blender, I'm going to take the same powder, just in some extra quantity, and now I'm just going to apply it onto the edges of my nose. So basically wherever your contour ends, that is where you tend to put the bake. And people who have just started contouring their faces and they tend to make a little, mistakes, what I like to do is just under my contour line, I like to create this. So it just cleans out your contour, makes it look a lot more chiseled. Alright, we'll just let it sit for like 5 minutes. Until then, I'm just going to complete my brows off camera while my face is baking, and I'll just be back. Alright guys, now that we have our brows and our eyes done, we are now going to get rid of the bake. Now that we really need to get our face out of the oven now. So I am now going to take a fluffy brush, and this is a Morphe, fluffy powder brush, and I'm just going to get rid You can see how better our contour looks now. Now after all these powder products that we have on our face, I am now going to just take a slight shower in the MAC Fix Plus. This is an extremely important step because this really helps all the powders melt in your skin and makes it look very natural. Though not natural, we already have a lot of makeup on, but it really helps to melt all the powders in and doesn't really make it look cakey at all. So now we will just give our mascara another layer, because who doesn't like a flush of color on their cheeks? So I'm just going to take the same brush and the same brush. I'm just going to apply it on the apples of my cheek. Now a lot of people also struggle with the right placement of the blush. So in case you are not really able to place the blush right, all you can do is just, you know, give yourself a fake smile. Well, not a fake smile, smile. And this is where you want your blush. The apples that really pop out, that is where you want to put your blush. So just give yourself a fake smile. And this is how you can easily put on your blush. So now that we have our face done, we need to highlight it. I'm going to use the KKW Beauty Highlighter Palette 1 today, and I'm going to use a fluffy brush like this one. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07, and I'm going to use the shade Peach 1, taking it onto my brush. I'm going to apply it to the cheekbones. That glow. So I'm just going to swipe it. Now once that glow is blinding to the gods, we are just going to stop. I'm going to put some more on the bridge of my nose. In case you kind of struggle to make the highlight precisely onto the bridge of your nose, please use a smaller blending brush. Like, I'm going to use a smaller blending brush, and this is JH34, and I'm going to use the same highlight and apply it to the bridge of my nose. Using the same highlight, I'm going to highlight my brow bone. I'm also going to highlight my Cupid's bow. Please do not highlight the whole lip. You only want to highlight the Cupid's bow. Okay, so now that we have all the powders in place, I'm going to spritz some Fix Plus again. To make it look really all just put together. And once we have the perfect base, I am all about that glow, so I'm going to just some more. Well, you really do not need to put all of this. It is just your personal preference. Alright guys, I'm just going to put on some lips and I'll just be back. So I really hope that this video helped all of you guys and you could actually gain something out of it. I have just put on some lips. So today I have used the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Vault, and I really like it. So I'm going to leave all the products that I've used today in the description box below. Don't forget to check that out. And also the next video would be on how to have the perfect brows. Today I just have, you know, filled up my brows in a very natural way and not all those Insta brows. So how to have the perfect, you know, lip, the perfect eyeliner and the eyebrows. So the next video is going to be on that, and I just hope that you enjoyed watching today's video, and Do not forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up so that it just keeps inspiring me to make all these videos. And I would love if you would like to follow my makeup journey on Instagram as well. A link to my Instagram profile would be in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you're always updated when the next video comes. I post videos every Saturday 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and I really hope that I can keep inspiring you and I can be of some help. Please do not forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. And if there are any more queries that I haven't been able to answer in this video, do not forget to leave it down in the comment section below. I would be more than happy to answer it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you.